When we learn how to co-create our lives with our soul and source, absolutely anything is possible. Welcome back to Divine Alignment. Today we are talking all about co-creatorship. This has been really a co-creation that I'm so excited to share with you all this week because this has been the journey for me. And I really believe this is the journey for all of us. Should we realize it or not, we are all co-creating at some level. And so today we're going to dive into how do we actually co-create? How do we envision our lives in this way so that we can be a conduit of source, of our soul, and truly live our fullest mission. So I want to begin with just diving into these three levels. And everything that I'm going to be sharing today is actually truly co-created. There were so many things that I had envisioned that I thought were necessary and important, and it turns out they were not. So everything I'm sharing has been a co-creation, which feels so of course it had to be. If I'm talking about co-creatorship, I couldn't create it just by myself. I had to create this. And I'm going to be diving into how we can truly, like, you're going to receive so much here, but I'm going to be sharing more. Anyways, so there's three levels. This is what I've been shown. There's three levels of creation. There is being created externally. So you are a victim. You might not refer to yourself as a victim, but essentially this is, and here's the thing, we all experience this. We all experience this. Society is creating our lives for us. The matrix, those who, the elite, whatever you want to call it. External influences are creating our reality. They're creating our experience of reality. This is the first level. This is, like I said, everyone, we all experience this. And we might not experience it. And as we grow and evolve and truly step into our co-creatorship, we're going to experience this less and less and less. But I personally believe that there are always going to be levels and degrees, and we still have to experience sometimes this form of creation because so many people are still going through it. So many souls are still very much trapped in what mainstream is telling them about their health and their bodies, about their money and their finances, about how work is supposed to look and be, and how relationships are supposed to look and be and feel and be experienced. And these are all aspects that we have been fed and programmed of how to create. We're told this is what you should want. This is what you should want. But this is why it doesn't so often lead to the fulfillment, because it wasn't you who was creating that, right? So then the next level we get to is really where the whole law of attraction, manifestation, The Secret, all of these things fall into place, where we start to learn that, oh, I have a say here. I can create. I have power to intentionally use my mind to create a reality that I desire. This is a very fun place to get to, because we start to see that we have far more power than we have ever imagined. However, in this form of creation, many of the things that we create are still from the first level. So Many of the things are still from the first level because we are creating based on ego desires, money, status, work, relationships are all, how can I prove myself? How can I prove to the little child in me who didn't receive love that they're worthy? How can I prove to parents and friends and external people that I am successful and I have figured it out, whatever that whatever that means. And how can I achieve X amount of money and receive X amount of money and make X amount of money? Because then because society deems this as very important and very important of something that I need to achieve. And while making money is absolutely not bad at all, I want everyone to have a lot of money, as much as they desire. Not everyone. Okay, we're gonna not dive into that. But I believe that everyone should have as much money as they desire. How we receive the money. This is why you see all of these millionaires unhappy, because there's a way to fulfill this dream in a way that's aligned with your soul in the next level, or there is simply just manipulation of energy in order to achieve it. And really ultimately underneath that, feeling a void of not feeling seen, loved, or enough, right? So the manifestation, the second level, it's a beautiful level because I would say it's a necessary level because we get to create and see and remember our power. However, many of the things that we are still, not all, but many of the things that we are still creating are based off of what our ego wants. And our, I think it's part of the experience. So it's not that this is bad. Like, our souls came here to experience lots of things. So creation in this sense is not bad. It's not bad. It's just, and it's not good. It just is. It's an experience. And our souls came into these bodies to have experiences. The next layer, though, the next level, the third level, this is co-creation. This is co-creatorship. This is co-creating our desires based off of what our soul and source, God, the universe, whatever you would like to call it, are in partnership. And they are channeled into the body vessel and created through that. So now, when we fulfill things, when we receive things, when we become things, we are deeply fulfilled. We are deeply satisfied. We are deeply excited because this is what we knew we were supposed to create and become and allow and receive in our lives. So these are the three levels, and I see it almost as like school, like, although we probably come in as babies and we already are in co-creatorship at some degree because we haven't been programmed in so many ways. Minus, past incarnations of things we may have experienced. However, when we come in, we're very fresh slate of energy. And then we get to learn these levels. And I'm sharing all of this as well because I'm not trying to say that any one of them are right or wrong or good or bad, or that any person is right or wrong or good or bad. Okay? They just are. And this is just how I have received how I see it all. And so then from there, I've been shown that there are, like, how do we then get to co-creatorship, right? Like that begs, okay, so if these are the levels, how do we get to co-creatorship? There's so much information about manifestation. I'm not going to go into that. I'm sure you've watched, read, taken the courses all about manifestation. Not going to get into that. What I am passionate about is the co-creatorship. How do we do this? How do we do this? How do we do this? What I've been shown, and again, my human mind didn't think that these were the steps, but this is what my soul and source have co-created. And what these steps are is, first of all, learning levels of consciousness, levels of energy, learning frequency, learning vibration, learning what things resonate at. What is the resonance of each thing? What is the resonance of this crystal? What does it calibrate at? What is the resonance of this plant, of this plant? What are the resonance of things? What is my level of consciousness? What is the level of consciousness of this city, of the next city, of this country, of that person? Levels of consciousness, levels of energy, levels of awareness. When we begin to understand these, I've shared here before, this completely will change your life. This will completely change your life. Because when we can understand energy, now we know how to grow. And how do we get to the next level of energy, of consciousness, if we don't know what it is? Sure, we can still get there if we don't know. But when we know it, it makes the transition far smoother and easier, because now mind has a goal, unconscious has a goal, and then it knows how to get there. Okay, so that's the first step. The second step is, this one I had a lot of hesitation towards sharing. I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of hesitation towards sharing this because I was like, are we really going there? Are we really going there? Because again, my ego was like, I don't want to share this. Like, people, I don't know if they're ready for this. Like, they're gonna like see me as whatever. But like, I had to trust that this is what my soul and spirit wanted to bring through. And when I look at my life, this is one of the biggest things that I have ever gone through. And so I have to share it. It has to be part of the process of becoming a co-creator. And that is releasing, rewriting, and creating new contracts from this life or past. I was led through, this experience. I was shown 8 contracts that humans create, recreate, and are bound to in this life or past. Health, love, sex and intimacy, relationships, money and abundance. What are the other ones? Purpose. Living soul-aligned mission. There's one more. I think health. Did I say health? Was that my first one? I don't know. They're all written down. We have them all. If we rewrite and release, and here's the thing, I have shared before, I believe that we have plenty to work on in this lifetime. Plenty. My inkling is that if you're listening to this and watching this, you've done a lot of work. You've done a lot of work on this life. You've worked with energy. You've worked with on yourself. You've done healing in some capacity. Now, and here's why I was like hesitant to share, because I know it can sound like weird and woo-woo and whatever, but I'm like, I have to embrace this because this changed my life. Like, I can look, when we look back on our lives, we see like these pivotal moments that we experienced of like, whoa, when I did that, things really shifted. And then that led me to that, where like things really shifted a lot. That experience I had totally changed my life. I literally woke up the next day. Well, I was up all night doing this. I downloaded the entire template. And the next day I woke up feeling like literally a new person. My entire reality was different. I felt like I lost 20 pounds. And I can see how that event set in motion many other things after that. So I thought that this was just for me, but really these are like 8 universal contracts that we have in some capacity, and we can rewrite them. So what happens when we rewrite them? When we rewrite these contracts, now we are a fresh, clean slate to truly create what we want and desire. Because what I realized is I had these, let's call them agreements. Let's call them agreements. I had these agreements that I had made in past incarnations, parallel incarnations, around my health, around my body, around money, around love, around all of these things. And they weren't all bad or not all good. Like, they're not, that's the thing too, is like, not all of these agreements are bad. Some you may want to keep. That's fine, but we don't have to know what they all are. But anyways, when we create new agreements, they say, abracadabra, I speak with my word. Your word is very powerful. And so when you speak a new agreement, when you create a new agreement, you set this energy in motion. And when done in a container setting with someone or guided, you now can really create something incredible. Okay. So then the next step has to be mastering the unconscious mind. Once we've released all of these ideas and agreements and contracts, it's like, okay, now that I have this like blank slate, what do I actually want to create? Because when we can learn to understand unconscious mind, some call it subconscious, if they're interchangeable. When we learn to understand and master unconscious mind, now we do not attach to ego and beliefs that we are being fed by it, because those are usually from society. Ego picks up on society's programming. Ego thinks that that's what it needs to feel seen, worthy, whole, and complete. Signals to body, mind. This is what we need. When we understand that, unlock that, and master that part of us, now, this is where living in reality gets really fun. So mastering and understanding the unconscious. And then the last part is really opening up our channel to co-create with the divine. And really, this isn't something that we really have to learn, because if we go through these steps, it literally happens as a byproduct. We simply just become a channel. We become a channel with divine because we are free from the constructs and confines and limitations that we have put on ourselves. We have put them on ourselves. But when they're lifted, and we didn't do this intentionally, we did this for many forms of protection, to keep us safe, to prevent whatever we didn't want to happen again. And so we put on these layers of protection. But when they're lifted, when they're released, our channel opens up and we now co-create with the divine so easily, clearly, and our soul and source are now merged into co-creating through the body, through this incarnation, through this vessel. And this is when our entire perception of reality completely changes and shifts, because we are new, and therefore the world is new, because the world is just reflecting back to us. And this is co-creatorship. And what a beautiful thing that is. And so, my soul and source have co-created how to lead and guide us through these steps, learning levels of consciousness, understanding energy, so that we know where we are, where others are, where everything is, and how to transcend and get to the next level, and the next level, and the next level. Then releasing the contracts and agreements, and then mastering unconscious mind, understanding unconscious mind. And then from there, the channel to co-creation. Of course, I infuse my own magic and activation. And this is how we co-create. And so I am so excited to invite you, if you feel called, to join co-creatorship, because this is the future. This is how we usher in this new earth, this new paradigm. It's not through living from our ego. It's literally no longer being restricted and confined by the things that we think are holding us back. Nothing is holding you back. I want you, if you feel called, to remember the totality of all that you are and all you came here to be. I want you to remember your power. This is a choice we all have to make. Do I want to live as a sovereign being in my truth, in my essence? Or do I want to live based on what I believe I should be? We get to choose. We get to choose. And if no one has told you this before, or no one has given you permission, here it is. Here's your permission. You get to choose. You get to be and see and do and create everything you desire. And if you want to co-create with Source and your soul, I really don't believe there is any greater gift you could give to not only yourself, but to everyone around you, to your family, to those who you work with, to your friends, to your lovers, to the people you pass by on the streets. Because when we are living in co-creation, I can't tell you how many times I receive wild things that I'm supposed to do. Yesterday, the day before yesterday, I go out for my walk and I hear, go into the store. I was like, but I want to go in. I would like to go to the store afterwards because I'm not wanting to get groceries now. And I just hear, go to the store. Okay. So I go to the store. The very first person I see when I walk in there, I see this man. And I'm like, how do I know him? How do I know him? He walks by me and I'm thinking to myself, how do I know this man? And then it dawned on me, oh my gosh, that was the man who just a week ago, if you follow me on Instagram, you know this story. A week ago, this man helped me find my keys in the park. When I went for my morning grounding, I dropped them on the ground. I usually put them in my shoes, and this one dropped on the grass, and then these people came and flustered me and whatever. So I left. I realized I lost my keys, never left my keys. I run back. I can't find them anywhere. This sweet man offers to help me find my keys. He spends so much time looking with me and he finds them. We hugged. It was this moment, and I had been thinking about him ever since. Literally every day I've thought about him. And I hadn't seen him at the park. I still go there every morning for my morning grounding. Haven't seen him. I'm like starting to wonder if he's even real. And he is. I saw him. I went to the store. There he was. We passed by, and then I was like, it clicked. This is him. And I was like, should I say something? Should I say something? And I was like, of course, I was led here to see him. So I went out to him, said, excuse me, just wanted to thank you again. And he remembered me. And it was just this beautiful moment. It's this beautiful moment. And here's the thing, this seems so little. This seems so little. But it's this culmination of little moments that when we compile them together, they make up the beauty and magic of our lives. They make up the beauty and magic of our lives. Because we have no idea what things set other things in motion. We have no idea. We have no idea who else was in that energy fields that him and I created, that picked up on that energy, that then put them in a good mood, that then caused them to go home to their spouse had they, or children had they otherwise been in a bad mood, but now they're in a good mood. And so they go home and now they have a good night with their family. And because of that good night that they had with their family, the children wake up the next morning so excited to go to school because mom and dad weren't fighting and they were in a good mood. And so the child goes to school the next day and the child's in a good mood. And because the child's in a good mood, they make friends with another child. And because those children become friends, they become best of friends and they grow up together. They become business partners. And then they start this world changing. Do you see? Oh my gosh, I have like full body chills because do you see what can happen from one little interaction? From one little interaction, we just have no idea. We have no idea the repercussion. That's not a good. The trickle down effect of co-creating with Source. We have no idea. We have no idea. But when we do, this is where we live. In abundance, in magic, in miracles. This is the miracle frequency. And so if you feel called to live in the miracle frequency, I invite you, I welcome you to come and co-create in this co-creation, we will be creating so that you may co-create with your soul and source. If you feel the call, you know. And if you know you are meant to, if you know you are meant to co-create with source and your soul, I welcome you. Details are below. This is how we create the new paradigm. This is how we usher in the new earth. This is how we be of the greatest service to the whole. And so if you feel called, I'm so excited to see you. I'm taking a limited amount of people for this. So if you do feel called, hop in because there's only a limited amount of people. I don't say that for scarcity or anything. I want this to really be an intimate container. So when it's intimate, we can create, we can co-create such a deep level of co-creation with source. And I don't know if I will run this again, but click the link below if you are interested. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have more people co-creating with source. Whether you choose to on your own journey or through this, I believe that when we come together with others who are on the journey, we collapse time. And so these journeys that take years, decades can now happen like that. That's the power of working with the divine. It's the power of working with the divine. So with that, my loves, I'm sending you all infinite love and light.